Thank you for joining Tea or Coffee again. Thank you to the newspaper review team for giving us the dailies on the national and international stories. Now the conversation on reflections and resolutions continues on Tea or Coffee this morning. We are in the month of November. Next month, this year, the year of 2021, actually wraps up. Now, this is a good time to start thinking about resolutions. This is a great time to start reflecting about your 2020 New Year resolutions. Now, we've been asking people, getting opinions about New Year resolutions, about resolutions and reflections. Very interesting perspectives and comments. Some people don't buy into the idea of resolutions. Some people don't see the necessity of reflections. Now, we have a transformation coach in the studio with us this morning, a name and person of Oluwatoyin Abioye. She is an author, a clarity and execution coach and speaker, the founder of the Oluwatoyin Company, a personal development and innovation company. She's a trainer and thought leader on identity and mindset and the founder of the Dauntless Tribe. She's also the host of the Bold Tribe podcast, a series of conversations on faith, life, purpose, and leadership. She's committed to creating solutions to issues on youth empowerment, women, and the girl child, education and employment as part of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. We have just the right person to help us understand what reflections and resolutions are. Good morning, Tony. How are you?
I'm fine.
I hope you like the way I.
Yeah. Thank you
How
so
are you
much.
doing? Thank you
I'm
very
fine.
much.
I'm good.
All right, so I want to understand, as me as a person and, for the sake of the viewers at home, what is a transformation coach? What is the job of a transformation coach? What does a transformation coach do?
Okay. So what we do is that we work with individuals, we work with you to move you from thinking or writing down, we move you from that to doing.
Right.
So we help you, we work with you to create strategies for you to execute your goals. So that is just a very simple way to tell you what we do. So you have ideas you've thought of, you have things you've thought of doing, you have products you want to sell, you have things you want to launch, but there are things in your life that you want to do, but you find it so difficult to do.
Right.
So we help you to move from just writing it down, from just thinking about it. We help you to move from that to execution.
Okay.
So that is the main thing we do.
All right. So, before the cameras came on, I did ask you this.
Yeah.
But for the sake of the viewers, what marks out a transformation coach? What differentiates a transformation coach from, for instance, a counselor and a therapist?
Okay. So a counselor will listen to you. I think what differentiates mostly is that a counselor listens to you. Then both of you come together to think of the best way to change something in your life.
Right.
But for a coach, we use preset templates for you.
Okay.
Templates that will fit into the particular thing you want to do. So you have a goal you need to reach. Then I listen to you. I check what you've done about it. I check what you have in mind about it. And then we set strategies for you to move into execution.
Interesting.
So I give you more of the solutions, then you go out to do it. But a counselor listens to you more, wants to find out what is happening, and then works with you to change some situations.
So it's more. So coaching is more of a practical approach, to dealing with
issues. Yes.
Okay. So, do people come to you with the New Year resolutions and they're like, Tony, I have New Year resolution. I want to ensure that I keep up to it. Do you get cases like that?
Yes, we do.
Really?
Yes, we do. And I think it's very needed, because really statistics say that 8% of people who make New Year resolutions achieve them. Just 8%.
8%?
8%.
So little.
So little.
Wow.
So people who really, really want to do it, they come to us to just say, okay, so this is what I can't do it. I found that I can't do it. So please help us about it.
Yeah. Okay. So taking that into consideration, I want you to know, what is your opinion, and as an expert, what is your opinion on resolutions? New Year resolutions.
New Year
specifically.
resolutions.
Let's talk about New Year resolutions.
Okay. So I think that New Year resolutions are wonderful.
Okay.
Really, yes. Because just you writing them down, just you making those resolutions makes you want to work harder, wants you to achieve something you want to do. But
Right.
not doing it at all, not having it at all means you didn't even think about it. So I think resolutions are very important. The only issue is that then we need to put down strategies to make them work.
Right.
So they are really good.
Right.
They are really good. They help you take charge of your life.
Okay.
They help you look at the things you've done. Did you get results from them? What can I do better? How can I be better? What can I do? What did I do that worked? What am I doing that is not working? So it helps you to put all that in place. So what we need to really look at is how to make it work.
Okay.
But in general, New Year resolutions are okay.
From what you just said, you saying that, thinking back about the things that you've done and
Yeah.
everything. So it seems to me that resolution and reflections are two sides of the same coin. Would that be correct to say that?
Yes, you would be correct to a certain extent.
Okay.
Reflections are looking at, thinking deeply about situations,
Okay.
considering considering the things you've done, considering your experiences,
Yeah.
and how to make them better, make them work. So those are reflections. But resolutions are choosing to do something or not do them.
Okay.
Do you get it?
Yeah.
So they can be, we can say that they are two sides of a coin.
Okay.
But because before you get to your resolutions, you have to reflect.
Right. Okay, so we actually, for our views from the net, we asked people a question on reflections this for the conversation this morning. Excuse me. And the question we asked them is, what is your take on reflections and New Year resolutions? We've gotten some very interesting comments.
Okay.
Interesting to see that some people don't buy into the idea of New Year resolutions. Now, the next comment we have is actually Ola from Ibadan.
Okay.
And Ola is saying, the purpose of New Year resolution and reflection is not a bad idea. In fact, I see it as a well thought out method to encourage growth, mental, physical, and emotional. It's just the fact that it has been trivialized, and I think the purpose has been lost, which makes it seem like an unnecessary trend. I mean, what's the use of telling the whole world about your resolutions on social media if by the 2nd of January you stop making corrections? So just as you said, interesting statistics, 8%,
Yeah.
of people
Yes.
don't. Why though? Why?
Okay, so I was thinking we'll get to that later, but I think one of the reasons, there are other reasons, but one of the major reasons is that we just make resolutions. Resolutions are decisions to stop or start doing things.
Okay.
So we just make the resolutions. We don't have plans. So we just make the resolutions. I just decide I want to start this, I want to stop this, but you don't have detailed plans to get it done. So I want to lose weight by this time. Then how do you want to lose it? No detailed plans. So I think that is one of the major reasons.
Okay.
Yes.
So personally, I've always found it's the distinction between dreams and vision.
Okay.
I've always found this very interesting, right? So for me, I see dreams as, when you say, oh, I have a dream, or, when we're younger, when you say things like, when I grow up, I want to be a doctor. For me, that's a dream.
Yeah.
But a vision, it's something that I want to be a doctor. I'm going to go to medical school. I'm going to, do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to intern and
Yeah.
things like that, right? So would I be right to say that maybe it's the same thing with resolutions? Treating resolutions as dreams is maybe why people don't achieve it.
Yes,
but
I
maybe
agree.
they should treat it as a vision, right?
I agree.
Right.
I agree, because for the vision, you look at a total process. So I think that's the main word we need to look at, a total process for you to get the resolutions done. So yes, I agree that resolutions could just be dreams, what you just want. You just want it. But how do you get it? You don't know.
A total process. I love that. All right. So the next comment we have Okbayemi from Lagos. Okbayemi is saying, there is nothing wrong with making New Year resolutions, but if you have been waiting for a long time just to make a perfect start on January 1st, you might as well mark your next perfect date in the calendar. You are changed. You aren't the person you used to be anymore. This is a random conversation all around the globe, used in its most negative sense possible. No relationship advice here. Change and growth in life is what keeps us alive, but it doesn't always have to happen on the 1st of January. So if you're waiting till January 1st to change that bad attitude of yours that keeps people away from you, what is the guarantee that you would actually see it? Now, before newspaper review, Yemse and I were talking about, interesting. I stated that maybe the reason why people set New Year resolutions is because, for instance, some people work better with a timing structure. Wake up at 6 a.m. or, for instance, a 9 to 5, I get to work by 9, I close by 5, I wake up by 6, I have my dinner by 6 p.m., whatever the case may be. So maybe for some people, the start of something new is January 1st. Why is that? Why is it difficult for people to, from your experience of dealing, with people why is it difficult for people to start something new, for instance, in the middle of the year? Why do people usually wait for January 1st?
Okay, so that's a very good question. Researchers call it the fresh start effect.
Fresh start effect.
So there's
a name for it.
There's a name for it.
Fascinating. Okay.
So it's called the fresh start effect.
Okay.
It is generally believed that it's the new year and it's the time, fresh start, new beginnings. So the things I try today, I'm going to achieve them. So it's just that. That is just it. So those things that you want to achieve by the 1st of January, or you plan to start working towards from the 1st of January, you could really have started working on them from August, the year before. There's nothing stopping you. Okay, let's say that we are in August now. Those things, you could start working on them by September. But because your mind is set on, it's going to be a fresh start, then you think, oh, let me just wait and make it a New Year resolution. So that's just it.
Fresh start effect.
Yes.
Fascinating. Okay, how about people that, okay, so for instance, I was saying earlier on the show, that's for me, my New Year, because I was born in the month of July.
Okay.
My New Year actually is in July. So, for instance, me waiting for July, would that still be, for instance, a fresh start effect?
So are you saying that you most likely set new goals at July?
For instance, yeah.
So if you do that, that is what is happening.
It's still a fresh start effect.
And it happens to a lot of us.
That's interesting.
It happens to a lot of us. My birthday is in February. So I think most times I just think, once I'm out of that birthday, I think, oh, so I'm going to start something new by March. It doesn't have to be that way. It does not have to be that way. You can actually set timelines for things that you want to do at any point. Once you see that it is necessary for me to do this, you can actually set timelines to do it. But because you have that in mind, it affects all of us.
Yeah.
Affects all of us.
Fascinating. All right, so the next comment, Bolaji from Osun State. Bolaji is saying, true. We are approaching the New Year resolution season already. Everybody be lying to themselves now. On a lie, if you ask. On a lie, if you ask me. I don't buy into it at all. Wait for the new year and see what it says before deciding on what to do. All of us that made New Year resolutions in 2020, well, I bet we all did not see the pandemic coming. A friend of mine even decided to be more social by attending more events. Ha 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 ha. It's shocking when pandemic cook everyone for us. All right, so my next question from this comment, from Bolaji's comment this morning, is when is it a good time? Is there a good time to start to set a New Year resolution? Now, I'm not just talking about resolutions now. I'm talking about this fresh start effect mentality. Is there a good time, to say that, okay, we're in August now, or we're in September now, or does a person have to look at the things around their life to begin to, when is a good time to set a resolution? Because
I'm going to start from, I think, the last thing that he or she said. Said something about wait for the new year before you.
Yeah, so Bolaji is saying wait for the new year and see what it says before deciding on what to do.
Okay, so I don't really agree with that, because waiting for the new year to see what it knows, you start planning for seasons before the season. That is what you do. You want to do something, you want to get married, you start planning for it. You don't wait. You don't wait for a season before you start planning for that season. So that's something that we should tweak. Yes.
Okay.
So, but I understand where it's coming from, and it's because, see, one of the things I even thought about was that maybe you should stop calling them New Year's resolutions.
Okay. For a start.
For a start. So if you're going to do it personally, don't call it New Year resolutions. Give another name, maybe my goals for 2021, my achievements for 2021, something else, because that term has been has a negative effect with it.
Right.
Like what he said, just like we said also, like 8% of people achieve it.
Yeah.
So it's right to say, oh, no, lie.
Yeah. All right. So I want to quickly talk about the role and the use of a vision board in setting your goals, your achievements, your resolutions, quote unquote, for the new year. How important or useless can a vision board be in setting goals?
Okay, a vision board can be very, very effective.
Okay.
If used well, can be very effective. But then when we talk about vision board, we don't just put in mind the one you put down and then you put pictures on it. No. There are some vision boards that are online. There are things that you have saved. So this is what I do. I save things in a folder. So that is my vision board. What it helps you to do is that it brings you back to what you're supposed to do. So it's like a reminder. Then it's like it sets your psychology, it sets you up to see these are the things I need to achieve. Then it helps you to wake up to do the things you need to do to achieve them.
Yeah.
So vision boards by themselves don't make things happen. It is not magic. So some people have thought, okay, let me just put down, because people have used it that way and say, put something down on your vision board. Put it in your room, see it every day, and it will happen.
It takes more than that.
It takes more than that.
Yeah. Okay, so for viewers at home who don't know what a vision board is, a vision board, and please correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
A vision board is, for instance, is a board where you want a new car, for instance. You download pictures of the car, you print it out, you put it on a board, you pin it to a board. You want a new house. You want a new house in Banana Island. You take a picture of a house in Banana Island, you put it on the board. So then every day you're looking at it, and the idea is that you're working to it. Tony this morning is saying that it doesn't always work like that. It takes a lot more. Actually,
it's not magic.
Yeah, it takes a lot more. All right, so Kirian from Abuja is saying, making New Year's resolutions has never resulted in lasting or effective change on my path, and generally contributes more to a feeling of inadequacy or failure. When I do not follow through with my goals, the reflection is great and useful as a general guide throughout the year. But resolutions based on an artificial kickoff date are not, at least in my experience. What do you think?
I agree, because like I said, it's just a few people that achieve it.
Yeah.
So I agree with what she's saying. And like I also said, when you just plan, you just make those resolutions.
Right.
You need other things. So there are like other ingredients that need to be added to the resolutions to actually achieve it. So that's the problem everyone is having.
Yeah, right. Okay, before we get into all those other ingredients to making a resolution happen, we'll have a look at the last comments. Favor from Delta. Now, this one is quite lengthy.
Okay.
If you have already set resolutions for the upcoming year, then I am extremely sorry to burst your bubble, but I am sure you will definitely benefit from reading this post, this comment. Every time, like the present year, we set New Year resolutions for the next year. Some are like, eat healthy, lose weight, save money, pay off my debts, etc. We set resolutions every year, but around 97% of people fail to reach even slightly nearer to their goal. Okay, so just quickly, 97% is even a worse, is a lower, because that would mean 3% of people.
It's just like it. From research, like
well, fascinating. Okay, we set resolutions every year, but around 97% of people fail to reach even slightly nearer to their goal. But still, this practice happens every year, and we fail to achieve what we want. Instead of setting resolutions, I would like to give you some practical techniques which will help you to make the next year your best year. We as human beings like to be perfect in every sense. We want to do anything and everything at once. We want the six packs along with being an awesome programmer who also has a great social life and reads 50 books per year. However, while setting goals, we underestimate the time and effort it takes to achieve those goals. Hence, it is important to prioritize your goals. You practically cannot, for example, code for 9 hours a day and work out for 2 hours and later read books. Even if you do so for a few days, you will be exhausted after a week. That's the reason why you should pick one major goal which is more important as compared to other goals. Another thing is never compare yourself to others. So very true, interesting, important points have been raised by Favor in this comment. One is the importance of prioritizing, and the second one is not comparing. So how effective is prioritizing in determining what goals or what resolutions to first pick on, and then determining what follows?
I think that's very important. The first one she said is very important.
Okay.
It's one of the things I wanted to say.
Okay.
So what you should do is that you don't make your resolutions or your goals so much. So some people have like 10 resolutions, 20 resolutions. No. So you could have maybe 5 or maybe 4, but pick what to start with and set goals and set timelines. Very important. Set timelines. So when we start a goal from January 1st,
Yeah.
and then we go back to check it in December, that's a whole year. No, it shouldn't be that way. Set timelines for your goals. So I want to lose weight, set your timelines. For how long am I going to work on this? So I'm going to do this for 6 months, and then I'll measure my progress at the end of 6 months.
Interesting.
So that's the way to go about
Yeah.
it. So she's correct.
I feel like a lot of people I feel like New Year resolutions put a lot of pressure on people. And interestingly, because it's people that set their own New Year resolutions.
Yeah.
So it's people putting pressure on themselves. And I love what you said, that instead of having 20 or 10, reduce it and then have a benchmark for when you give yourself, when you reflect on these resolutions.
Yeah.
And we're going to get into the conversation now, which we've already started. Anyway, but so I want to use myself now as a case study, right?
Okay.
To build on to the next question. In 2018, my New Year resolution was I wanted to be more in tune with myself. That's what I said.
Amazing.
2018.
Okay.
The idea behind why I set that resolution is because, in the past, I'll set resolution like, okay, maybe I want to drink more water, or maybe I want to, reduce alcohol, or maybe, I want to go to, church more, whatever the case may be. And I realized that every time I set those kind of resolutions, I always fall short. When I set it to a particular object, I always fall short. So for 2018, I decided to do something else, something different.
Okay.
So instead of having material, like objective, resolutions, I said maybe I should do something more general to who I am. So being in tune with myself, I started in 2018. I want to be more self-aware. I want to learn about who I am. I want to learn about how I react to things. I want to learn about the things I don't like. I want to pay more attention. And by the end of 2018, I had kept that resolution, and I understood myself more.
Okay.
Right? And then in 2019, I decided that, okay, this actually works. So for my resolution for 2019 was to be more competitive, because I realized, from learning about who I am, that I'm not a competitive person. I don't like competition. I like that. I believe that the sky is big enough for everybody, blah, blah, blah. So I wanted to learn to be competitive. By the end of 2019, I realized that it's not me. Being that person that wants to one up another person is not who I am.
Okay.
Now, I'm saying this to maybe because it worked for me. So I want to use it. I'm forming a question out of this. And the question I'm asking, right, is, setting object resolutions. how do we set resolutions? Because, for me, not having object resolutions really worked, because I wasn't now pinning my, excuse me, I wasn't pinning my achievements or goals to achieving particular objects. So, to raise a conversation about the pressure people put on themselves, what is the best way to set a resolution that that you won't fall short of? How do you set a resolution in a way that you don't put pressure on so much undue pressure on yourself, and you don't fall short of those resolutions?
Yeah. Okay. So let's get into it.
Yes, please.
Resolutions, firstly. So what you do is decide on what you want to do.
Okay.
Whatever it is you want to achieve for the year. But do not make them too much or too bogus. No. So let them be specific and then note it down. Now for you talked about not making objects. But what I wanted to ask you about what you did was that, did you set timelines? Did you measure your progress? You know why it was easy for you was because your goals were not really something you could grasp.
Okay, not specific.
Yes.
Okay.
So your goals were just be more in tune with myself. So by the end of the year, your progress could just be positive for you.
Okay.
It is not really measurable.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Okay.
So I think that was what happened to you.
Can be a problem.
That can be a problem.
Okay.
So what we should do is, I want to talk about the pressure. The pressure can help you. Pressure can actually help us if it is not so much.
Okay.
It can help you be better. It can help you move faster. It will make you see that you could do things that you didn't think you could do. So sometimes the pressure is good. But when you see that it's getting bad and you're thinking, you're getting depressed, then you don't do it. So back to the resolution. So
Yes,
this
please.
is what you do. You note down those resolutions. So this is what I want to do for this year. Number one, I want to lose weight. I'm just using that. I want to lose weight. Then you move a step ahead. This is where most of us stop. You just list everything you want to do in the year. This is my New Year's resolution. So this is where most of us stop. But that is not the end. The next thing is for you to set the goals for that resolution. So think of your goals as the thought out process to achieve your resolutions. So your goal is different from your resolution. That is something I also want us to remember.
Yeah.
Your resolutions are just your decisions, the things that you want to achieve. Your goals are the thought out process to make it happen.
Okay, so just to give, okay, so for instance, so what I'm getting is that resolutions, for instance, can be a target. Your goals is how you get to that target.
Yes.
Interesting. So as you're setting resolutions, you need to set your goals. All right.
So most of us stop at the resolutions. So now I want to lose weight. Move to your goals. How am I going to do this? What is it? So what kg do I want to lose? At what time? So have the goal and then set timelines for it. Okay, so how do I do this? I go to the gym. Then you check, like, I think someone said that there. You want to code for 9 hours and then you want to go to the gym for 2 hours. It won't work for you. So you look at your time. You don't think about someone else's timeline. No.
Right.
You look at your time. Okay, so this is what I can dedicate to this. So don't forget resolutions, then the goals to achieve it. And the way we know our goals must be smart, it must be specific, measurable. It is not just, we don't just say it is important. It must be achievable, it must be time bound, and then you evaluate it and reevaluate it. Yes. So when you've set those goals, then have a detailed plan for it. Resolutions are not things we just write down and forget about. I think that is one of the reasons why we miss out on it. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of people cannot finish through. You don't have the stamina to go through. You don't have the stamina to see it being executed. So that's the problem we have. So from the goals, move to your detailed plans. Set down your detailed plans. Get your timelines. And then measure your progress.
Right.
Measure your progress. So this is the way to set resolutions.
Okay. I want to talk. Okay, so I'm realizing now with what I did in 2018 that I cheated.
Yes, you did.
Apparently, I
Yes,
cheated.
you did.
Yeah. So
Because you did not have a set target to
yeah,
meet.
yeah. And
So any result you get would be a result.
okay, I'll take that one. All right, so now I want to talk about the measure,
Okay.
the measuring your resolution,
Okay.
right? What kinds of questions should you ask yourself, when you are doing that reflecting, when you're measuring your success in whether you've achieved those resolutions or not? What kind of questions should you ask yourself essentially?
The very first question you should ask is, what does success mean to me on this issue? That is the very first question.
Okay.
So I want to lose weight. What does success mean to me on this? When I get to losing 35 kg, is that when I have succeeded? So you need to know. That is the most important question to ask.
Okay.
The most important. What does success mean to me
Right.
on this?
Right, right. And then how about, so I know you said 6 months. You put the timeline, for instance, to 6 months. So if someone sets a resolution by January 1st, June will probably be a good time.
Okay, so no, it's not fixed.
It's not fixed.
There are some that you can get done in 4 months. What I'm saying is that look at it, look at the
Right.
things that you can get done, and then set timelines.
Yeah.
What most of us do is that we do it in January, and then we go to December to check, oh, I didn't do it, oh, I didn't achieve. No. So you look at the time, some things you can get done in 2 months, and then you move to another one. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Some things can get done in 2 months, in 3 months, so it doesn't have to be 6 months.
Right. All right, so let's talk about reflections. We've been talking a lot about resolutions, setting resolutions. I love what you said about looking at resolutions as targets,
Yeah.
setting goals, and a plan on how to get to that particular target.
Yes.
Now, let's now move into the sphere of reflections, right? I feel like a lot of people don't reflect often, right? And
Yeah.
I think that is why maybe people sometimes maybe get lost internally and even sometimes externally, right? Because they're not really sure who they are or what they're doing and things like this. So how important you're the expert, I'm just saying this from my experience. I love reflecting, so it's something I love doing. But how from your experience, how important is reflection?
It is very important. But a lot of us don't do it in this part of the world. It is not part of our daily lives. And it should be. Reflection should be part of our daily lives. You reflect on the things you've done. You reflect on the things you need to do.
Okay.
And one of the reasons why you need to do that is because it helps you to figure out life easily.
Right.
You learn from your mistakes. You learn from your mistakes. You understand, you even learn from your success. Some people do things and achieve results, but they cannot replicate it because you don't know what brought that result. So reflections help us to not just move through life. Like, I just wake up, I just come to work. People go to work without reflecting, without having targets. No. People do that. You just come to work, I work, and you do the things that you're asked to do, and that is it. You don't think about how to make your work better. You don't think about how to create more solutions in what I'm doing. You don't think about, how can this be more relevant? You don't even think about, how can I move forward? We just feel, when they promote me, they promote me. So reflections help you to take charge of your life. And it is very important. If you can do 10 minutes in a day, please do.
Right.
If you want to do it weekly, please do. But it is very important. It should be something that goes along with us as we move through life.
Yeah, you made a very important, you made a very interesting comment when you said in this part of the world. So does Nigerian culture have something to play in why we don't reflect?
Yes, that's why I said this. Because, so just look around you and just think of when you grew up. I don't know, but think around you.
Okay.
Just look around you. Did you really see people thinking about your life, except when things go bad?
This is really...
Except when things go bad.
Okay.
So what we do is just we reflect. Once things go bad, we just reflect. Oh, that's it.
Okay.
So it's not a part of us.
Really?
It's not, that's one of the things coaching does.
Okay.
It helps you to see that you need to start doing these things. And it's very important. Because when you start doing it, you see results, and then you see what you've been missing out on. It's happened to me, so I know what I'm saying.
Okay, so I want to talk about, as we wrap up, this particular interview, I want to talk about, because I found it's, when we talk about things like resolutions, reflections, I realized that it can be people specific as well. It can be person specific as well. And please correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm asking you this question now because as a coach, you've already established that you make preset, you use preset templates on guiding people to achieving their goals. So now my question is, using these preset templates, is there an allowance of a person specific? For instance, maybe it would take me 4 months to complete a task. Maybe for another person, it would take them 3 weeks to complete a task. Maybe because of finance, maybe because of background, the way they were brought up, religion, So is that a consideration when you are helping people, achieve their goals? Can it be contextual, to a person?
Yes, totally.
Okay.
Totally, absolutely. Because we are different.
Okay.
We are different. And one of the things that define us are the experiences we have, the things we have gone through, the things we have learned. So those are things that have shaped our culture, shaped our mindset.
Yeah.
So for you to deal with somebody, that's to be different from the way you deal with the other person. It's just that there are underlying things that are the same. Meditation is the same. Reflection is the same. Making goal setting is the same. It's just that the way you will interpret it as a person will be different from the way I interpret it. So yes, it is contextual.
All right. On a final note, right? I know. I've really enjoyed my time with you this morning. I've learned a lot. I'm sure our viewers have learned a lot as well. So I would love that you encourage the viewers watching this morning. The year is running out. People will begin to. I've already started writing my own, things like that. So for people who are just beginning a process, who don't understand the reason for resolutions, for people who don't buy into it, just a word of encouragement. That is your camera. A word of encouragement from you.
Okay, so I want to encourage everyone who has not been making use of resolutions. This is a good time to write one. And don't make it too much. Don't make it too bogus. Just think about things you really, really want done and note them down. And then set detailed plans to get to them. When you set your detailed plans, set your timelines, and then get people who will be accountable. I forgot to mention that you need accountability partners. It could be your friend, it could be your neighbor, someone you trust who can help you and just be accountable. And I'm sure you'll get it done. So please make them, and I'm sure you'll be part of the 8% who will achieve them.
You have a beautiful smile. I don't think I've said that to you this morning, by the way.